live stream. If you're catching this on the replay, make sure to hit that like button, put me on the algorithm. Also, comment below if you, again, are on the replay, and let me know some of the favorite fragrances from this live stream. But to those who are here, welcome to the live stream. Today, my scent of the day is, I was doing Zaharov week last week, and then the weather kind of changed, so I couldn't wear what I wanted to wear, but now it's warm outside again, so I'm going with Business Over Pleasure, which was a Zaharov Z Creators 1 with Ross from TLTG Reviews. It's fresh, clean. It's a signature fragrance that has a nice iris in it, but it's blue. Really nice fragrance. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, fresh fragrance from Zaharov. Really good one. And we have a lot of fragrances to talk about today. I saw John Carlo was in the chat. He said that he's wearing Versace Eros Flame today, so really nice. And then what's going on? Sally Knows It All. How you doing, man? So today I have a bunch of fragrances to talk about, to be honest with you. I got some of these from a few of my subscribers, and then one whole pack from D Holmes. He sent me Hugo Boss Bottled Absolute, which is the only one from the line that I actually have not tried. And then we have Nishane Ani X. We have this one I just got in today from Newt. It is Invictus Parfum. Again, I didn't buy a bottle because I knew somebody was going to be sending me a decant of it, and Newt sent it to me today. He wasn't a big fan of it, but I'll let you guys know my thoughts, and I have a first impression coming out tomorrow, which I did obviously earlier today. And then we have Zerof 40 Knots. We have Zerof Neo, Zaharov Torino 21. Some of them I have tried before. We have Brioni EDP. I can't read the rest of these. Yeah, let me just take them out of the package so I can tell you what I'm reviewing. All right, so we have Ed Hardy Love and Luck Vintage 09 edition, so 2009 edition. Never tried an Ed Hardy. Then we have Parfums Vintage M Blue Gucci Pour Homme 2 clone. And then we have... Shit, sorry guys. And then we have Rebottled Genuine MDC Invasion Barbare. No idea what that is. But, yeah, I'll get to that one last because I don't have any idea what it is. But let me know what your scent of the day is. Again, I'm wearing that by Ross. So, Ross and TLTG Reviews. What's going on, Kevin? What's up, John Carlo? I already said that, but welcome to Moe's. What's going on, man? What's up? Let's get it. What's up, Day and Not the Man? How you doing, man? So, I guess we'll just get it started. We have Day and Not the Man wearing Zaharov's Signature Pour Homme. I actually have a decant of that in the other room. I also have a decant of Black Rose. I have those two I never tried before because the Signature Pour Homme was just not in the realm of what I was looking for as far as the note breakdown, so I never bought it. But I was sent that and Black Rose. Even though my wife is allergic to rose, I decided I was going to try it. So that is going to be for another live stream. And again, we're going to start out here with Invictus Parfum. So I sprayed this on my hand earlier just to get a feel of the opening. Again, with my first impression. But I'm going to spray it again and let you guys know what I think. Brand new release this year, and the bottle looks pretty cool. Here, I'll show you the bottle if you don't know what it looks like already. Invictus Parfum. This is what the bottle looks like. It kind of looks like all the other ones, just it has more of a clean-cut, like futuristic looking design. It's pretty neat. So when you first spray it on, that is my favorite part of the fragrance, is when you first spray it on. It smells like, kind of like what you would expect a smoother version of Invictus Legend to smell like. It really just smells like the Invictus line, but a little bit less sweet, a little bit more soapy. It has like this warm soapiness to it. And then it has that lavender floating throughout, an aromatic lavender, but it has this sweetness underneath it. It's the sweetness that you get. It smells like an Invictus. So if you've smelled Invictus or Invictus Legend, I think it's closer to Invictus Legend personally. But it smells like that, just with like a warm, soapy tone underneath it. Is it good? Yeah, I mean, it's a decent fragrance. I mean, this is going to be super mass appealing, and this is going to be probably a huge seller, especially because of the bottle design, among people who are outside of the fragrance community. But if you own like 10 fragrances or more, this is going to be for one that you're probably not going to want to buy at retail. I'm so glad that I didn't buy it at retail because honestly, this is not a fragrance you want to buy. I have 30 other fragrances in my collection that smell like it or better than it. When it starts to dry down, when you get about 35 to 40 minutes into the fragrance, a little bit more of that warm soapiness comes in, but it's still kind of is a linear fragrance throughout the entire thing. You get a little bit of a creamy woods that comes in, but for the most part, it is musky, soapy, aromatic lavender. That is what the fragrance is at its core, and it just smells like a soapier version of Invictus. A little bit warmer, a little bit less sweet after that like 20 to 30 minute opening. It's nice, don't get me wrong. And so far, again, I sprayed it earlier. So far, it lasted on my skin. It wasn't a huge projector after an hour, but it did stay on my skin at least 6 hours. So it was going past that. So I would say decent performance, nothing crazy, but I mean, it's good. It's just nothing that I would ever recommend somebody who's watching my channel unless you're like, I don't know, a young teenager or something. I wouldn't recommend going out and buying this fragrance, blind buying, because there's so many other fragrances that smell like it that you can buy for a lot cheaper. It's honestly just a super redundant release, and I don't expect that anybody else is going to feel any different. I mean, so yeah. I honestly don't think that there's anybody else out there that's going to say in this chat that Invictus Parfum is something that you need to buy at retail. I just don't see that happening. That's my opinion, though. You can let me know if you think differently, but what's going on, Jay? How you doing, man? Scent of the day is CDNIM. Scent of the night is the most wanted. So this is what I was talking about, Jay. It's the Zaharov and TLTG reviews. It's their first one before Evening Mystique. It is kind of like a signature-worthy blue iris. So there's iris throughout the fragrance, but it's a blue fragrance, and it's a really nice blue fragrance. It's one of the better blue fragrances I've ever tried. It's not too polarizing. It's a really nice, easy wear, anytime fragrance that is more centered towards the daytime, I would say, if anything. And for me, the best season to wear it is spring, but you can wear it all year round. I just find it better, yeah, like spring, summer. But yeah, Josh, what's going on, man? Scent of the day is Tabac Sucre. I've never heard of that brand, and I've never heard of that fragrance, but if it has tobacco, then that means tobacco, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to like the fragrance, because tobacco is one of my favorite fragrance notes. Yeah, I felt dumb as hell afterwards when yeah, because he always calls it Bop, Ross does in his chat, so I just decided I'd start saying Bop, even though I used to always just write out business over pleasure. To me, it was easier, especially because I was making dinner at the time. But anyway, so if you guys are just joining, again, make sure that hit that like button. But I would wear Invictus Parfum. I'm just saying that I would wear it. If I owned a bottle of it, I would definitely buy it. It's just not something that I see myself going out of my way and buying until it's like on Joma Shop and I need to get like an extra, I don't know, I need to put like an extra $60 in the cart. That's the only time that I would ever buy Invictus Parfum. Not that it's bad, it's just super redundant across the board. BOP is awesome. Totally is. It's really good, really, really good fragrance. It's my favorite, it's that or Citrine are my favorite go-to fresh fragrances. It's my favorite signature fragrance in the line. I should definitely say that. What's going on, Hamzat? Scent of the day, Initio Paragon. Really nice plum fragrance. If you guys haven't tried Initio Paragon, that's actually really nice. I know some people don't like it very much, but that one grew on me. When I first tried it, I was like, yeah, that's a good fragrance. And it just got better and better the more I wore it. Gee, Lol said, why are clones so cheap? Well, because they're clones. And a lot of times, that's the reason. And I'm not going to say clones anymore. Apparently, like, channels can get canceled for saying that word now. Apparently, you have to say inspired by, because anybody who's associating with clones has a chance of getting, like, a copyright strike on YouTube. but they're cheap because they're clones, because the fragrances that they are inspired by are $200, maybe $250 if they're inspired by a niche fragrance, or they're even inspired by a lot of designers out there, which are in the $100 range, maybe less on discounters. So that's why you're finding clones for 20 or $30 because they're made with not as high quality oils. They don't have the big names attached to them. And I mean, there are some clones that are inspired by fragrances that do them well. It's just I would say at this point in time, I've tried 400 inspired by fragrances. I have maybe found 5 that I would rather wear out of the open over the original. But I do have to say, I have a video coming out this week on why I don't wear clones at all. Like, I can tell you over this last 365-day period, outside of me just buying them and wearing them that day, there is never a single time that I have pulled an inspired by fragrance out of my collection and wore it as the scent of the day because that's what I wanted to wear that day. I can tell you, I don't think over the last 2 years I have. So I'll be strictly honest with you guys. While there might be some that are better than the original, I just would not choose them. The only one that I might have pulled is Paris Corners Wild and Tobacco, because I do like that red tobacco. That's one of the ones that I find to be better. Detour Noir, while I find that to be a really nice Leighton inspired by fragrance, I still choose Leighton. Even though I don't want to waste that fluid, I'd rather wear Leighton over the Detour Noir any day. There's the new Refuck It. I wore that a few times just because I don't want to waste the decan of Baby Cat that I have. But yeah, there's some that are really good out there, like the YSL Tuxedo one, Fragrance World Suits. That one's a nice take on YSL's Tuxedo. I mean, there are some good ones out there. It's just I choose not to wear them. You guys can definitely wear them, and I will help you along your way to learn about those fragrances. It's just me personally, I choose to wear the other fragrances. That's just me. And like Jay just said right here, Tarathi Blue. That one's a nice one as well, but it's doesn't smell anything like the original. Like people were saying it's a Bulgari Tiger clone. It doesn't smell like Bulgari Tiger. If you've ever actually smelled Bulgari Tiger, they are like 90% different. It's amazing how people actually come in and say that's a Bulgari Tiger clone, because it's not. I mean, it's supposed to be, but it doesn't really smell the same. So with those type of fragrances like Kayed Al Fursan, it's supposed to be a Hachivat or Creed Aventus style clone, but it really just does its own thing. Do I like Leighton? Yeah, I like Leighton. I know some people, like my friend Jeff from SoCal Sense, he gets this Vicks Vapor Rub vibe from it, but I know way more people that like Leighton than they do like, what's it called? Then they don't like Leighton. I was trying to think of what I was saying, but I wasn't skipping people. Sometimes things pop on the screen. Invictus Parfum will be a pass for me. Yep. I just smell it in the store, Giancarlo. When you get to a Macy's and it's there, just try it. I mean, it smells nice. It's just, you've smelled it 100 times. That's all I can say. It's a soapier Invictus Legend, and it's a little bit smoother. I got Bloomin' today before I left for work. Got a spray to try it out. Haven't got it on my skin yet. See, I actually skipped on Bloom. I told George, I said, man, I'm sorry. I was like, maybe I'll get a decant to do a review on, but you probably don't want me to review that fragrance because I hate florals. Like, I hate florals. Always have, always will, especially whenever they're the heavy. There's only like 1 or 2 fragrances I've ever tried that are floral heavy that I'm obsessed with. But this, I already know. Ross even said, you're not going to be a huge fan if you don't like florals. And I do not like florals, especially heavy jasmines and stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan, so I'm not going to review that fragrance knowing that it would be something completely negative, and I already know going into it would be negative just because of the fact that I am not a floral person. But I am waiting because Ross said that the new blue fragrance coming out, Seraphim Blue by Zaharov, is his favorite blue fragrance that he's ever tried. And so with that said, he loves blue fragrances, and I like blue fragrances a lot, so Definitely going to be excited about that one and the Privé line that he's releasing sometime down the road. Nothing against Zaharov, but I don't have any bottle from the line. After collecting a few hundred so far, maybe I'm missing something. So when it comes to Zaharov, the way that I look at it is they have a very eclectic collection. Not everything is going to be for everybody, but for me, they have something for everybody. They have somebody who likes the fougerish style fragrances. They have some, like if somebody likes the blue fragrances. They have ones if you like the citrusy, semi-green fragrances. They have Coco Loco, which is the most mass appealing out of any of them. That if you like coconut tropical style fragrances. They have really sweet gourmand fragrances with Aurum, which is right behind that. They have even like your really resinous, musky style fragrances, like the ones that Ross released, Evening Mystique. They have feminine ones that are semi gourmands, like the one that Curly released. Then they have a tobacco one, which is my favorite for the for the cooler weather, which is Zaharov's signature tobacco. So they do. It's not every fragrance in that line is going to be for everybody, but there is a fragrance in there for you. Most likely, you just have to at least get like a decant pack and try them out. That's the way that I look at Zaharov, because I don't like every Zaharov. There's like 5 or 6 of them that I really do like, though. Scent of the day is Y Elixir. From a sample, not bad. Smells like a super concentrated YEDT with a light smokiness in the dry down. For me, it is a mix of Y Parfum and a shit ton of soap. It's a soap bomb that has an incensey, darker Y Parfum as the dry down. I still think that Y Parfum and Y Live are the better options in that line. While it still is a nice addition to the line, it's not the best one in the line, which I was expecting it to be. It definitely was not that, but it's still pretty good. Interesting. So right now, I got Y Elixir from News Parfums for 100. I think that's about as low as it's gonna go, $98 to $100. Tarathi Blue is really good clone fragrance. Everything about it smells great to me. I don't want to smell tiger. Yeah, so they're not the same. Tarathi Blue is one of those fragrances that people just guessed what it's cloning, but I think that that was one of their actual fragrances that they were releasing as an inspired by, but with a twist. I think they meant to do that, and so while it does have that citrus and musk, it's a different fragrance. There are much better Bulgari Tiger fragrance clones out there, but none of them really get it perfectly right on. Now that I've thought about that. Seems like Jeremy Fragrance channels. Jeremy Fragrance, he even comes on my wife's what's it called? He's been popping on my wife's channel on her homepage because of all the crazy stuff he's doing, like the fact that he spit out a tonsil stone that one time. He was on Dr. Pimple Popper because of that. Also, now anytime I scroll, and I don't follow him, but his things will pop on my feed, and he's doing this thing in a bathroom where he's like dancing, and he looks like somebody who doesn't know how to dance and is trying too hard, and it looks like somebody who's, from what I hear, he's not on drugs, but it looks like it. And so yeah, I don't know why he doesn't even review fragrances anymore, but I mean, he's the one who kind of started the fragrance community to be where it is today. So I mean, yeah, he's just losing his mind a bit. I think he's just doing what he wants to do now. And what he wants to do, acting like himself, people just don't like. That's what I think it is. That's my personal opinion. I've heard Tarathi Blue is. I don't think it's closer to anything. I don't think that Tarathi Blue actually smells like anything. If it does smell like the original Blue Edition, like would I say it's closer to that? There's pieces of it that would be. There's pieces of it that would be closer to Tigar, but it's kind of like in the middle. It does its own thing. You would need to try it. It's a citrus musky fragrance, and it's really nice. I have it right behind me. I have 2 bottles of it, but it's only because Afnan accidentally sent me 2 bottles of it. I'll be getting 2 bottles of the new Blue Zaharov when it comes out in a big and small one. Yeah, last time I messed up. I got a small one of Aurum, but I wanted the plate, but I didn't get the plate. The only plate now that I have is Ross's Evening Mystique. All the other ones are small, but I didn't realize that you get the plate with the big one. I never paid attention. I don't know. Um, Scent of the day is what's up, Terrence? How you doing, man? Scent of the day is House of Sillage Men's Collection HOSN002. Never heard. I've heard of the brand. I've never heard of that one though. So, well, I'm glad you're wearing something good, something that you enjoy. And citrine big bottle when it's available. Apparently, it's available this week. That is just what I've heard, that it's available this week. I don't know if that's true. Somebody on my Instagram said, I can't wait till it comes back. And I said, wait, what are you talking about? And he was like, your has you a YouTube channel. Is it fragrance related? I don't know. Hold on. I don't know what you're saying. I need to read through the chat first. Yeah, so apparently Citrine's coming back this week. That's just what I've heard. I honestly don't know. Terrence is also testing Memo Paris French leather. I've just tried a Russian leather. That was really good. I tried it. Has this kind of, it has a little bit of leather under it. It's not a huge leathery fragrance. You go into it and you expect leather, but what you get is like you're in a forest of pine trees, and it's really interesting. It's a lot of pine, and it's really nice. I did not expect to go into that smelling a lot of pine, but it's really good. FD late to the party. What's up, Kix? How you doing, man? Kix Griffey. Jeremy is crazy. Yep. Much love to my frag brothers. What's up, Jonathan Madsen? How you doing, man? Scent of the day is Signature Citrine. There we go. Man, this stuff is so good. It's now my top 5 for spring. I have my top 10 for spring coming out, and that is one of them. Saying hi to everybody. Nice. Even Chaos is taking a hiatus. Everybody, honestly, so I'm going to be doing a video also either this week or next week where I'm going to be talking about starting a channel. Like not me starting a channel, but for people who want to, and what it's like to be in the life of a fragrance reviewer. Just so people can see like what it's like behind the scenes as far as like what you have to do and all the time it takes up. So people can understand whenever you take a 2-week hiatus, there's a reason behind that. Everybody who is in the fragrance community, if you don't take at least two weeks every few months, then you're gonna lose your mind. So G Law, what are you saying? Because I was just reading through it and it doesn't make any sense. It said you put your has a YouTube channel. Is it fragrance related? Are you trying to say my wife? No, I said my wife's channel. I mean her homepage. No, my wife does not have a YouTube channel. So before I started a fragrance channel, me and my daughter from the age of 5, she wanted to start a YouTube and TikTok channel opening Pokemon card Generation 1 booster boxes. If you guys don't know what those are, they're like super, super popular nowadays. But we did that, and we had 180,000 followers on TikTok and 75,000 followers on YouTube. And we opened so many, like I have 3 Generation 1 Charizards. Like, not that you guys care. Hold on one second. Kevin, I'm on my live stream. All right. Sorry, that was my daughter's uncle. He always calls and we tell him not to. But anyway, with that said, yeah, we had 75,000 on YouTube. And then when she turned like age 9 or 10, she decided that she didn't want to do the Pokemon anymore because it's just wasn't her interests anymore. And so I just canceled the channels. I did not get my Charizards BSA graded. We are getting them PSA graded, but I'm doing that I'm saving them for my daughter as kind of like a generational hand down, because they will just get more expensive and more expensive down the line. But I'm going to get them PSA graded at some point. I'm going to get the whole book. I have, like, I would say probably 2,000 to 3,000 first edition cards. But with that said, I canceled both of those channels and then started a fragrance channel on TikTok and then moved it to YouTube like 3 months later. Not that you guys care, and I have no idea how I got there, but met Jeremy a few years ago. He was not normal. See, Jeff from SoCal Sense is friends with him, and like when he comes into LA, they meet up. He said he's a completely normal guy in real life. And I was like, but he did take a bag of all of Jeff's fragrances and threw them all in a duffel bag and took his Creed Aventus and just went on a video. If you've ever seen Jeremy's video where he sprays Creed Aventus about 60 to 70 times, it was Jeff's. He just took Jeff's a bottle of Aventus and sprayed it almost 100 times. And I was like, how could you not be pissed? I would have punched him. Like, if somebody sprayed my Aventus that much, I would have at least gave him a swift talking to. I mean, because that's ridiculous. That's an expensive bottle of fragrance. What do you think of Mercedes-Benz Club? Are you talking about the original Club Bane? Oh, Club Black. Club Black is right there. You can see the top of it. It is one of my favorite vanilla fragrances. I think it is the reason why I didn't pick up Parfums de Marly Altair from last year, because I feel like they're in the same realm, and I think that Club Black for the price is a much better option. It is strong, but at the same time, it's very calming. It's a really nice vanilla that has a little bit of incense, a slight little floral tone. It's one of my favorite vanilla fragrances, and my wife really likes it. So for $50, you really can't beat that fragrance as far as the vanilla in it. What's up, Sun Devil? How you doing? Good evening. And Ascent of the Day is Bulgari, Wood Neroli. I'm gonna try to get to the bottom of this, and then I'm gonna get to the next fragrance. Since you said whatever about Jeremy on her homepage. Oh yeah. She was on. He popped up on her homepage. He's like, my wife looked at me and goes, "Isn't this one of those guys from your fragrance thing?" And I said, "Yeah, that's Jeremy." I was like, "He's gone nuts though." And it was the video from Dr. Pimple Popper where he spit out that whatever it was. Received Dumont Nitro White today, not opened yet. Let me know what you think, Giancarlo, because I heard about the Nitro Red, and I'm kind of iffy on it because the bottle doesn't look nice, and I like to have at least mostly nice bottles in my collection. But let me know if it's worth picking up, because I heard that the white and the red are similar, but I'm not sure. I have no idea. Show the love. Wow, thank you, Silverino. I appreciate that. Did you get I already answered that. We're almost at the bottom. There we go. The Bane Club. Oh, talking to the Bane. Those Charizards alone could probably pay for your daughter's college. We already got that covered. We have a bank account open for my daughter, and we have, when we were on vacation 4 years ago, we came across a really good deal for this red convertible Beetle, and she's always been obsessed with Beetles. And so we got her a 2019 convertible Beetle, and it's sitting in my garage right now. It's waiting for her to turn 16. So we got her college and that covered already. So not too worried about that. Of course, he sprays another man's Aventus for public. Yeah, it's a publicity stunt. It's pretty much exactly what he did. No offense, but I don't like Dior Homme Intense or the Parfum. I don't like the Parfum very much. I've always maintained that. But the Intense, I do like. But I do, as far as those types of fragrances, Prada L'Homme Intense is my favorite of that style. And, as far as like the designers go, I don't like the Dior Homme Parfum. It comes off a little bit too makeup-y and a little bit of this spicy ambrette musk that I'm not a huge fan of. But the reason that I like the Intense more is because it almost has this chocolatey vibe to it. And then you get that Prada L'Homme Intense, which kind of just simmers down the iris. And so that's why I like those two. Nitro Red is a Beast Mode Baccarat Rouge type with watermelon, a fruit bomb. You know what I'm interested? Ross was just doing one, Kajal Homme 3. That's supposed to be like lemonade and something else. Really interested in that. And then there's a phrase, if you guys have ever heard of the company Coastal Carolina Parfums, they released two really big name fragrances. One was my favorite indie of 2022. It was 2-6 Elixir was the first one, and my favorite one was Southern Peach Tea. It smells like a Southern Peach Tea. It's a really nice smelling fragrance. But he has a new one coming out. And watermelon, hold on, Coastal Carolina Parfums. I want to read you the notes to this fragrance. So it's coming out on, where is it? It's coming out on April 19th. It's called Outer Banks. And the note breakdown is lime, orange, watermelon, cucumber, mint, basil, sea salt, ambergris, rose, fig, driftwood, and white musk. That lime, watermelon, mint mixture sounds amazing. And based on his other previous offerings, I'm really interested in that fragrance, so I'm definitely going to be trying it out. It's not going to get me a lot of views, but I really don't care about that. I just want to get something that smells good that I'm interested in, and I'm very interested in that. Ditto G Law, talking to him. Same with Vanilla Oud. See, Vanilla Oud, it was a very big hype beast. I'm not fully on board with Virtue's Vanilla Oud. I think it smells nice. It's just powdery fragrances. Just my wife does not like them. I've never been a huge fan. Well, I can still get through them. I mean, Nishane Ani X and Nishane Ani, they have the powders in it too. But I think it's a nice fragrance. I just don't find it to be a super hype beast. But for people who like powdery fragrances, I can see why you would like it. Have you tried Diesel D Red? No, there is no diesels in my state. You cannot find them anywhere. They're not sold in stores. They're not in anything. I have a News Parfums order, and they send you a bunch of new release decants, and I'm hoping that it's in there because they are selling that on their site. I know one of my friends has tried it, and he said that it smelled nice. He said it was a nice smelling fragrance. There's not really anything else that he wanted to say about it. What's up, Sandy? How you doing? Hope that you're doing great. What's interesting, I have a family from India. I'm born and raised in the USA, and their Sephora sells Guerlain. Yeah, Guerlain's sold overseas, in a lot of overseas places. It's just, it doesn't do very well in the United States. They had all of their line in the United States, but now they're mostly sold overseas where they sell better. In the United States, they don't do very well. I agree, Randy. That's my issue with Silver Mountain Water, too. That's why for the DNA, I like Metal Rain more. Yep, same with me. I'd rather have Metal Rain, which is why I will not own a bottle of Silver Mountain Water. I really like 2.6 Elixir. Works well in the spring, too. Yeah, D. Holmes. Speaking of him, he's the one who sent me the most of these fragrances. And we're getting into the next one, which he sent me. And he sent me a great deal of it, so I can smell it. And I have tried it out, and I like it a lot. And I don't, just a disclaimer, I do not like the original Nishane's Ani. It smells like your grandma's cookies with like baby powder. That's what it smells like to me. I know a lot of people like it. I don't actually hate the fragrance. It's just, it was middle of the road for me. But Nishane's Ani X, wrong hand. I would have sprayed that right on top of a fragrance it wouldn't mesh together with. So, when you first spray on Nishane's Ani X, it is a lot fresher than the original Ani. This has a nice citrus ginger blast right when you open it up. Like a nice lemon bergamot mixture. And then underneath that, you get this ginger that just starts to creep up to become a little bit more of a prominent tone that you didn't get in the original Ani. You didn't get a whole wallop of ginger. But I can tell you, this smells amazing. You still have that Ani DNA into there, so you still get that slightly gourmand baking spices and vanilla. You do get a slight bit of a powdery undertone, but this is a lot more fresh. This is a lot more focused on the ginger. While this is not going to be something you want to wear midsummer, it's a much fresher take on a winterized fragrance. And I think it's absolutely stunning. I think that this is amazing. This is probably, since this was released last year, this would easily be in my top 5 fragrances of last year. This is one of the best, if not the best fragrance that I've tried this year so far, outside of maybe Sospiro Vibrato. Yeah, they really did this one and knocked it out of the park. I did not expect them to really change the DNA that much, but they did. That ginger really takes a turn and makes this fragrance pop on your skin. It has this nice effervescence to it. A little bit of almost like it smells like almost like a cashmere wood. I've never really looked at the notes for this fragrance, but that's what it's, shit. That's what, that's what it smells like to me. Let's take a look at the notes. Might as well. I mean, we're on a live stream and I have a phone in front of me. Why not look them up? Nishane's Ani X. You can get this on Venba Fragrance around $200. It is a citrus, woody, warm, spicy, vanilla, aromatic, fresh fragrance. It is ranked a 4.29 out of 5, which is great. Top notes of bergamot. Oh, that just skipped. Lemon, bergamot, melon. Ginger, cardamom, watery notes, and pink pepper. The pink pepper is definitely there. Green apple, a little bit of that. Black currant, can't tell. There is a patchouli base to it. Some lavender. Sage and rose, I don't get very much. Vanilla, sandalwood, cashmere wood. Yep, cashmere wood. That's becoming one of my favorite base notes in any fragrance is cashmere wood. It has this kind of like, it's almost like a warm sandalwood that has this like effervescent pop to it. White musk, ambergris, and cedar. So while this still has a very similar base to that of Ani, imagine, take that Ani, subtract about 75% of the powdery nuance that comes with that. That really gives it that kind of old woman smell to me. And then replace that with this beautiful ginger, and then in the opening you get some of that baking spices that flows throughout the whole fragrance, and then a nice fresh citrusy opening, and then as you get to the dry down you get a nice beautiful creamy sandalwood, some of that warm cashmere wood that kind of is in the opening as well. I think it's a very beautiful fragrance, very well done, and it's one that I have to, and I mean have to pick up. And the one good thing about this is that kind of citrus ginger mix, while the ginger does stay there for a bulk of the fragrance all the way until probably like hour 3 or 4, that citrus ginger mix stays there for about an hour and a half. So you do get a nice amount of time with that ginger and a nice amount of time with that citrus, so that it doesn't fully get into that just what you know from the Ani DNA, just less powdery once you get to the dry down. It doesn't quite get to that until about, I'd say, hour and a half to 2 hours. So I think the fragrance is great, and it lasts 10 hours, at least 10 hours. I washed it off after that, but I told you guys, anytime I get past 10 hours, I'm just telling you guys it's 10 hours, because 10 hours is enough time for anybody. And if you don't think it is, then yeah, something wrong with you. But Nishane's Ani X is a A+ for me. Would I give it a 9.5? No. I have reservations. I have never given a fragrance a 10. I have given maybe 8 fragrances a 9.5, which we listed in the last live stream. I would give this a 9. I like to save my 9.5s for the very, very, very special fragrances. And the 10, I don't know what I'm going to give to that, but it's going to have to be something spectacular. Anyway. What's good, D Holmes? Anti-diesel state, afraid of hybrid. So we used to have diesel in our Macy's, but then our Macy's got a little bit more streamlined. And so now they only sell like 10 or 15 brands. And diesel was one of those that were completely relinquished from pretty much every single mall in all of PA. Also, we had 4 malls in my area, and now we only have 2. So, yeah. That also might be a reason. Do you have any other... wait, are you talking to somebody else? No. Oh, FragranceDoud. I was thinking, who's FD? It's me. Do you have any other summer layering combos that... yeah, Kicks. I have an entire video of summer layering. If you want to go watch it, I'll give you some... So that Dolce & Gabbana light blue one goes really well. YSL Y EDP goes really well with any of these 3. Versace Pour Homme, Missoni Wave, or Chanel Allure Homme. Any of those 3 goes really well with YSL Y EDP, because YSL Y EDP gives me a headache, but if I spray the 2 together, it does not do that for me. I like to layer, and this is a weird one, but I like to wear, not really that weird, but somebody actually said that they smelled the same, and I don't think they smell the same at all, but Mancera's Lemon Line, I like to layer that together with Allure Homme Edition Blanche. I also like to layer together Tom Ford Soleil Neige, together with either pretty much any of the Allure Hommes. Those are really nice ones. I like to layer, there's some weird ones that I like to layer. I like to layer that with Lolita Lempicka Green Lover. That's St. Julep by Imaginary Authors. But I have a bunch of other ones if you want to check them out. A nice fresh one, even though it doesn't sound fresh, it is Baccarat Rouge 540. If you put it down first, and then you spray either Mont Blanc Explorer or Creed Aventus Cologne on top, it freshens it up, and you get a kind of like sweet and fresh fragrance, which is actually nice in the spring and summer as well. But still, to this day, I will still tell you 100% the best layering combination for the high heat is going to be the Dolce & Gabbana and what's it called? Tommy Bahama Set Sail St. Bart's. Grandma baking cookies with baby powder. That's what I've always said. I don't know. That's just what I get from it. Zerof perfected Silver Mountain Water with Gentle Womo. I have not tried. Gentle Womo is one I have not tried, but I do have my eyes on. Oh crap! Now I have to buy Ani X. Yeah, might want to try it first, but yeah, it's really nice. No, that's the wrong one. Ugh. I don't know if I sprayed the Invictus Parfum this time on some top of something else, but it just doesn't smell very good. What's up, Cryptic? How you doing? How long does that citrus last? Hey, I already answered that. Good for me. Another one to add to your fragrance, John Carlo. What's up, William? Hey, Randy, I've heard that the gasoline octane begins to markedly decline after only a few days. Do you think it's possible that the potency of tamsulosin can dramatically decline after a few... What? William, I have no idea what you're talking... You're talking about tamsulosin and you're talking about gasoline octane with a mark. I think you're just trying to make me go nuts. No idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. Does anybody know what he's talking about? Somebody read William Miller's comment and tell me, do you understand what he's saying? Does it have anything to do with fragrances? I'm losing my mind. I think I read that today that Nishane Ani dropping yet another X fragrance. Personally, I like Ani. Yeah, I want to try Wulong Cha X and I want to try 100 Silent Ways, but I also want to try Fan Your Flames and Fan Your Flames X because I have never tried Fan Your Flames. And I've always wanted to try that, and now we're going into a season that it doesn't fit anyway, so I don't know. Neff's X. Nice. I just tried Neff's last week, so we do need a Dylan Blue Flanker. Can you say the ones that you have given a 9.5? Espen, if you go and watch my live stream from last week, there was 8 of them, and I can't remember what they are right now. I mean, I know what they are. It's just I would have to take about 10 minutes to remember, but I think it's tuberosa. Yeah, you know things, Randy. I just thought I'd ask. Not a frag question. Let me reread that if I'm not reading something from fragrances. Hold on. Hey, Randy, I've heard that gasoline octane begins to markedly decline after only a few... Yeah, I have no idea what you're I have no idea, William. Sorry, no idea what that means. I don't know really anything about like gasoline. Like outside of the fact that it runs your car and all kinds of stuff. Like I don't know like the science behind it or anything. Ness has remained out of reach for me to date. The cost is... Yeah, I tried it last week on my live stream. That was it. Yeah, but what does gasoline have to do with pharmacy? That's what I'm confused about. I know what you were saying with tamsulosin, but what does gasoline octane mean? That like tamsulosin, I see that maybe once every, I would say 3 or 4 years come through my system, but I have no idea what the gasoline octane part means. But I mean, if you can explain what yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I'm a pharmacist that works from home. I'm a clinical pharmacist. So I don't actually work in a pharmacy. I'll explain my job. I've done this before, but I'll explain my job. So I work from home for a large healthcare organization. And what I do is I work with chemo patients. So whenever let's say a hospital, they need a certain medication that is over $100,000. And they need our company to help work with them by reviewing their diagnoses, looking at what stage they're at, stuff like that, to try to work with the other companies who are dispensing this medication to get it to be more cost effective. That is where I come in as the pharmacist to be able to make sure that the diagnosis match, to make sure all this so that we can get that medication approved for that. So I don't actually work with the chemicals and stuff behind all that. Yeah. Oh, I was right, sort of. Thanks for the explanation. You're the best. I'm confused. Are you trying to say, yeah, William? You're really it's kind of pissing me off the way that you're talking. To be honest, hey, Hamzat, knock him out, man. I have Fan Your Flames, love it. Yeah, Fan Your Flames, I have never tried. I really would like to. Maybe he spilled his bottle of Dior Fahrenheit. Yeah, honestly, sorry guys, that chat went completely ass backwards. I have no idea what the heck he was talking about. I think he was trying to disprove that I'm a pharmacist or something. Just go at my fucking Facebook profile, and you would fucking see it, dude. I think you're losing your mind. But anyway, um, Parfums, vintage, Gucci pour. We're gonna get back into fragrances because, yeah. Well, William, if you're not, it's just the way that you were talking. It made it seem like that. And that's coming from me, who's usually not negative about that kind of stuff. I'm just saying, but I don't want to talk about that anymore. I have no idea where that conversation was going. Let's get into one that I already know I like, but I wanted to talk to you guys about it. It is Zaharov's Torino 21. And I'm letting my moderators take control of my chat and all that stuff because I'd rather just talk to you guys. So this is a fragrance that was sent to me by Newt about 6 months ago, and I didn't give it the full shake that it deserved. When it first came in, and I first smelled it, it was just getting to be the cool weather. And yeah, Sandy, right? Back to reality. It was just to be getting to get the cool weather, and I sprayed it along with like 10 other fragrances, and then it just kind of sat. I went through all of my decants the other day, and I picked out this box. I hope it doesn't break, but I picked out this box of all the decants that I'm going to wear soon. This is just the ones that I want to wear soon, too. I had to narrow it down, and this is how narrow I got. Like 150 decants. But I found all of the Zaharovs that he sent me. And the ones that I don't remember even trying. So the other day, Jeff from SoCal was talking about how he really liked the mint in this fragrance. And I said, shit, I don't even remember that being a mint fragrance. But honestly, I don't even remember the fragrance. I sprayed it on. And man, is this one of the most realistic mint fragrances that I've ever smelled in my entire life. I mean, it smells like you're walking up, and I have a mint plant in my backyard that comes up every year. And this smells just like a natural mint, but obviously it has other things going on in it. It has a little bit of a green tone underneath that mint, which is already green. But I don't want to even... Hold on. Somebody just messaged me, and it has to do with that situation. So Spirit of the Pop Fritz, that's just the box. So I have about 10 empty candle, when we're done with burning through a candle, we wash them out. I have 10 of those full of decants. I have an entire dresser drawer full of decants. I have 3 more boxes just like that one and that. But anyway, let me finish this message and get back into this. All right. Back into the chat, and we are good. So, this fragrance, it has a little bit of a green tone underneath that mint. While this in the opening is a mint blast. Right in your face, it's a mint blast. You do get a little bit of lemon in there. But on my skin, some people say the lemon for them comes off very strong. For me, I don't really get much lemon. It is way underneath the mint. To me, this is a mint herbaceous fragrance from the get. You get a little bit of this almost like basil rosemary mixture underneath to give it a little bit of an herbaceous quality. But I mean, kid you not, it is a 75% mint fragrance right off the top with a little bit of this lemon underneath and a little bit of this almost kind of aromatic herbal herbaceousness that you get. If you like green, this is something that is great for the spring. This is a full bottle worthy fragrance, but it is a one season fragrance. I cannot see myself wearing this in the spring, fall, or winter. I just don't feel like it would fit the right mood because of how herbaceous, how minty this opening is. It's a fantastic spring fragrance. It's one of the best spring fragrances. But As you get about 5 to 10 minutes into the fragrance, you start to get the mint starts to meadow itself and blend itself into the rest of the notes. And then you start, it's weird. You start to get this mintiness that starts to, this lemon mintiness. I already talked about that. You start to get a lemon tone that starts to pull up a little bit more. And you're like, wait, hold on. Citrus usually starts to dissipate. Why is this lemon coming in? And why does it smell like it's not the same lemon from the opening? It's because it's lemon verbena. Lemon verbena is a plant that's like, I don't know exactly what it is, so I can't explain it, but it has a lemony smell to it. And it comes in and it almost has almost like a candy like lemon head style lemon with a green tone to it, and it mixes in together perfectly with that mint, perfectly with that basil, and then you have a beautiful green, slightly citrus fragrance for the opening hour to hour and a half. And that is when the lemon verbena starts to wane. It never fully leaves. You actually get this slight lemon verbena, lemon tone that kind of sits its way underneath, but it's green, it's herbaceous, it's aromatic. It is a very beautiful fragrance for the spring, and for a fresh fragrance to last at least 7 hours on your skin is something that is almost unheard of whenever it comes to fragrances like this, but it does. And I can tell you, I have actually worn it once where I sprayed it on my clothes and it was on there like 3 days later. And for that type of fragrance, they usually dissipate even off clothes after a little bit. And this one doesn't. It lasts a good amount of time. So I think Zaharov Torino 21 is up there at the 9.0 out of 10. I think it is a great fragrance, but it's a 9.0 out of 10 for the spring. It's probably like a 7 out of 10 for the summer and fall and winter. It's like a 0 out of 10. You don't want to wear it outside of its season, and its season is spring, in my opinion. That's my opinion, though. But let me see what you guys are saying, because it kicked me out. Yeah. So, let's get back to where we were. Sparta kicked. So, I don't know if you blocked him or what you did, but that conversation was just being weird. And William, if you are still able to watch, that was just a very weird question. So, Kim got the broom out and he just totally did. I like Torino 21, but like Ross, I like the MFK Aqua Celestia Forte just a little bit better. I have not tried that fragrance, so I can't compare, but right now I can say Torino 21 is my favorite. And the price is way better than Aqua Celestia Forte, at least by $100. So I like this one a lot. So I thought of being a pharmacist, but I wanted to get done with school earlier. So I actually started my career in, well, my college at Pitt Greensburg. And I was going there, and I was going for management information systems. And I honestly decided, this is more of a minor than a major, so I ended up turning that into a minor. And then my dad already worked for a large health system, and he told me you should get into pharmacy. So I had no passion for it or anything, but Pitt is known to be one of the best schools for pharmacy in the area, so I decided to do that. And then there goes 8 years of my life. It's just the way it went. After Effect Extrait de Parfum by French Avenue F. A Paris blew me away. Best pickup for me this year. Silverino, nice. See, Fragrance World has some good ones. It's just, again, there's no Fragrance World fragrances that I have picked up that I would rather wear over the things that they're inspired by. It's just, at this time, I still would rather wear the original. But I'm not too deep into the clone spectrum. Like, I've tried a bunch, but I don't go out and buy every new clone when it first comes out. Like, I still haven't even tried Zanzibar, and that was a huge hype monster. I pick up what I want to pick up, and if I get enough people, like at least 10 to 15 people asking me to pick something up, I will. It's just nobody even told me to pick up Zanzibar, so I was like, all right, good. We're good. I have 2 boxes of decants. Nice. That's the Spritz with Pop Fritz. What's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while. I remember when I first started my channel, you were popping up here and there, but Pop Fritz, nice, man. I read that name wrong, so I'm glad that you're here. Sandy, I tried. Okay, you guys are talking to each other, so I'm glad you're having a nice conversation. Let's talk about this one. It's the only Boss bottle that I have never tried. It is Hugo Boss Bottled Absolute. So I have even tried the weird ones, like the one that was inspired by Manchester United, Boss Bottled United. While that wasn't very good, I mean, there's a list of Boss Bottles that I think are good pickups. The original Boss Bottled, I still think, is something that everybody needs to have in their collection as an easy wear. Boss Bottled Infinite is a really nice fragrance, to be honest with you. Boss Bottled Night is nice. Boss Bottled EDP Intense you can still find for around $100, and it's probably the best Boss Bottled of all time. Then they just came out with the last two, the Elixir and the Triumph Elixir, which Triumph Elixir is kind of just like a green toned down version of the original Elixir, which is the better option. And I think that they're all worth having a bottle of. And then there's Boss Bottled Unlimited, which you can find for like $20 on FragranceNet right now. And that's a very easy wear fragrance for the spring and summer as well. And I saw someone said, do you think Torino 21 would be good in the high heat? Like I wouldn't wear it in 90-degree weather. I think it's too minty and too herbaceous to wear in like a 90-degree day. I just would not wear that because to me, because of how many fragrances I own, I'll keep my green fragrances, especially the heavy herbaceous ones, just for spring. And so this one I could see people wearing during the summer. There's not going to be anything wrong with it. Me personally, I will not wear it during the summer. It's a spring fragrance just for me. I don't know what anybody else feels about it. I could see it definitely being nice. But yeah. A Boss Bottled inspired by Manchester United is bound to beat crap, just like the team, and I support them. Yeah, it was Boss Bottled United. It came out a while ago, and it was based around the team Manchester United. But yeah, it wasn't very good. My scent of the day was Boss Bottled Unlimited today. It has a mint note up top. First warm spring day in a while. Yeah, I gave my bottle of Boss Bottled Unlimited. I sold it to Newt. At least I think I did. Because I have like almost 80 milliliters of decants. And so I was like, you know what? I don't need a bottle of this. I already have like 80 milliliters of decants that are like in this size. And so I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to sell my bottle away. But anyway, Boss Bottled Absolute. Let's spray it up there. It's clean. Well, if there was one that was redundant to the original, it is this one. It smells nice, but it smells like a woodier Boss Bottled. That's legit. A bit more synthetic, though, which is saying something because the whole Boss line is synthetic. Like, they're all synthetic. I mean, the newer ones, they mask them a little bit better, but I love the original Boss Bottled. This one, it has almost a little bit of a powdery woodiness to it that is a little bit heavier, and it smells a little bit cheaper than what you get with all the other ones. So, is it nice? I mean, it smells like Boss Bottled with a synthetic woody tone that has some powder underneath it. I mean, can I spell it out anymore for you? You don't need to buy it. Just get the original Boss Bottled if you want that DNA. I'm not spending any more time with that. I don't need to. Yeah, I really don't need to spend any more time with that. It's Boss Bottled. You already know where it's gonna go. It's gonna be the same thing for 90% of the fragrance. When it gets to the dry down, you're gonna get a little bit of sandalwood coming in and some musk. It's a slightly more synthetic take on the original Boss Bottled if you added a powdery woody tone. Okay, we're done with that one. Boss Bottled and Zanzibar seemed to be overhyped for the most part. Yeah, I heard a lot of people didn't like it. Even though, what's her name, hyped it out of control. Curly fragrance, apparently. Yeah, Curly fragrance hyped it out of control, but I'm pretty sure she was paid by Lattafa, considering she lives, like, down the street from them, so, whatever. How do you like Boss Bottled Infinite? It's one of my favorites. That's why I was already talking about Infinite. Infinite has a beautiful violet tone in it that you don't find in any other of the Boss Bottleds. And it has this night out effect to it that you wouldn't think, based on the note breakdown, that it would be something more for the night out, but it's almost like a classier take on the line with that nice, beautiful violet. It still has that Boss Bottled DNA, but it is a complete different fragrance that you haven't smelled in any other fragrance that's out there by any other brand. But Boss Bottled Infinite's actually really nice. You can test it out at any Ulta. They have Boss Bottled Infinite in stock there all the time. So, yeah, uh, unlimited, not unlimited. Absolute is meh. I'm not really worried about it. Yeah, I mean, you don't even need to smell that. It's just kind of what it is. The next one we're gonna smell is Zerof Neo. I think I don't remember liking this one. I don't know though. Again, I forgot exactly what Torino 21 was, so that doesn't smell like anything. I didn't miss a tester strip because I can see the wet spot. Yeah, it's very, very light. Let me spray that on skin. I don't know if it's just a tester strip or if I'm going anosmic right now, but no, it's light. It's just a very light fragrance. I did not expect that. I'm not exactly sure what I'm even getting from it. Dude, when you talk about your favorite Boss Bottled Oud. So a lot of people like Boss Bottled Oud. I don't. It's in my worst 5 fragrances of all time. It's actually what created my channel name. Why is this coming off so damn light on my skin? This is, yeah, I don't know. Let me take a sip of something. Okay, now I'm getting something. Yeah, I don't even know. I have no fucking idea. Let me see if it happens with the other one. I might just be going nose blind right now. Give me 1 second. All right, we got Zerof Neo, Torino 21, and 40 knots. So now we're going to spray 40 knots and see if I get the same kind of... No, I smell that perfectly. The Zerof Neo is just very, very light. It's starting to come forward a little bit more, though, but I can't really tell what it is. I do like 40 knots, though. It reminds me of something. My wife's texting me that she's feeding my dog. If you guys are new to my chat, I'm sorry. This is weird. I'm getting like a lot of calls, a lot of texts, and a lot of weirdos coming through my chat. But yeah, this is nice, woody. It has a nice like marine kind of saltiness to it. Fresh, almost like a Zonic. 40 knots is really nice. This is something that you could wear in like any warm weather situation. And I feel like this is one of those warm weather fragrances that 40 knots. This is 40 knots. Torino 21 is the one that I already did. Yeah, Torino 21 is the one that I did with the mint and herbaceous. That's already done. That's my spring fragrance. But 40 knots is what I'm talking about now. Neo is on my other arm, and I can't freaking smell anything. I honestly don't know what's going on with that. But Zerof 40 knots. I don't remember that one being that good either. It's not anything that's going crazy and doing something completely different than other fragrances that are out there. I smell the fragrances in this realm, but at the same time, it has its own unique twist to it. Again, it's like a salty marine, but it kind of reminds me of a toned down version of Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum. Like you still get that kind of like almost tropical vibe to it, but this is very nice. It's salty, marine, a little bit of woods coming in. It's just fresh. Kind of reminds me of, what is that, Aqua Wood? By Mancera. Kind of in the same, not the same smell, but has the same style of fragrance where it's very simplistic, but it's like aquatic marine. It's salty. It has a nice woody tone underneath it. That's really all I'm getting, but it's super well done. I don't know if there is any citrus in here. It smells like there might be a little bit in the background, but it's really just a nice salty marine fragrance. No, aqua wood. I was talking about aqua wood. It has like the aqua wood style. I'm a huge aquatic marine lover, but I didn't really like 40 Nuts. I thought it was a very heavy amber with sparkling champagne accord. Didn't get a lot of aquatic notes. Maybe I had a bad decant. Well, decants really, I mean, and I know I smell from decants all the time. They're not really the best judge of fragrances because a lot of them lose some of their top notes after sitting, which is probably what's happening with the Neo. Yeah, I can't smell. I'm also probably going nose blind, but now I'm starting to smell like a green citrus. Anywhere close? It's like citrusy green and almost like slightly minty. I don't know. I mean, is that what Neo's all about? Because it's so light that I could be completely wrong. But this, I definitely see what you're talking about with the ambery accord. There's a little bit of an ambery accord underneath it, but I'm definitely getting a salty marine vibe from it. But it's a lot of woods, a little bit of amber, but I don't get anything super strong amber. I don't get super strong amber. I get a lot of woods. I get a little bit of salt. The salt started to pull up more. I get some musk surrounding the whole fragrance. Again, it's very simplistic. It reminds me of like I said, like Mancera's Aqua Wood with the type of fragrance that it is, not the way that it smells necessarily. Let me see what it's compared to. Dior Ombre Nuit. Haven't smelled that, but that smells like, this sounds like amber. Latafa Assad Zanzibar. Wow. These are weird fragrances that they're comparing them to. Roja Enigma. I don't get that at all. Yeah, I don't get that at all. I do understand what you're saying by the sparkling champagne now, because it's starting to come in a little bit more like that, but it doesn't remind me of Enigma. It doesn't not remind me of any of these other fragrances that are on this list. But, hey. Hey, what's up, Newt? $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. It goes right back into the channel, and Newt is great. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. Neo is strong on me. Well, I again, it's starting to get stronger right now. I don't even know where can I spray? You want me to spray 40 knots on skin? All right, so there's shit everywhere. Let's do this. I sprayed on my palm. I have so many fragrances on right now. Look how wet that is. This is how we should do it all the time. Okay, yeah, there's a lot more amber in this now. Yeah, now I see what you're talking about. It's different on skin. Why did I just sound like the Joker? This is really nice. I still get the salty marine. I still get the salty marine part of it, and it's definitely woody and spicy, but there's a lot more amber. The amber. She would kill me. She's feeding my dog right now. She texts me I feed my dog. So if I give her a high five and then she goes and grabs my dog's food, then my dog will be eating some Zerof 40 Nuts. I like it. I think Torino 21 is still my favorite from the three. I really like green fragrances, especially lately. But I can see what you're talking about now with that kind of champagne. The champagne accord doesn't really come in until later, where it has this like sparkling, like champagne-like quality to it. It comes in a little bit later, a couple minutes. But the opening for me, it definitely is a little bit more woody on skin. It's a little bit more ambery on skin, if not way more ambery. I still don't get the Enigma. I mean, I can understand that but you can't compare a fizzy pop fragrance just because it has that fizzy accord to a fragrance that doesn't smell anything like it. I can't believe I'm smelling my palm. This is a first for me. All right. So, if I had to put those in order, let's just see what Neo's about. Just so I can tell you guys, I'm going to have to redo that on a different live stream because I'm going super nose blind to it, I think. All right, Zerof Neo. Zerof Neo is a citrus. Hey, I said citrus and green. Fuck off. Aromatic, woody, white floral, warm, spicy. And then it got a 4.31 out of 5. So a lot of people seem to like it. Bergamot, green tones, and neroli. Okay. Neroli I can see. It does have a very subtle similarity to Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino. Cardamom, pink pepper, jasmine, nutmeg, vetiver, Virginia cedar, guaiac wood, patchouli, and amber. I can't smell it very much. All I can smell is citrus and greens. The greens are a little bit more prominent on my skin at least, but it's very, very faint, and I know I'm going nose blind to it. The neroli, now that I read that neroli's in it, I can tell it's neroli. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that if I wasn't reading it. But now that I know that it's neroli, I can see that, whatever. Because it's so light on my damn skin right now. And it says that it reminds them of the John Varvatos Artisan. And there's Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino is way far down in the comparisons, but it does have the neroli part of it that's similar, but again, that's very subtle comparison to it. And for some reason, it's getting stronger as it's sitting on my skin. I don't know if it's just because I'm warming back up to the fragrance or if that's just the way that it acts on my skin. I'm going to have to, again, I'll do that on my next live stream. I'm going to sit that aside, but it smells nice. It's just, it's very light on me. It's a lot more ambery on palm. I would say I would give Torino 21 a 9.0. I think that's a really nice green fragrance. 40 knots, I would say it's like an 8 to an 8.5 for me. I don't think it's anything mind-blowing. I think it's really nice, easy wear fragrance. I'm not blown away like Sandy said, but it's something that is very easy to wear. It has a nice, unique, ambery, spicy tone to it that I didn't get on tester strips, so definitely test it on palm. Test it on palm. Don't test it on skin. Test it on palm. But anyway, very sharp, astringent green. Yeah, it is a bit astringent, but again, it's super light, so it's not coming off like super astringent. Neo is more tart. Yeah, I don't get any. So I'm trying this on a. I'm not even going to talk about Neo anymore because I'm not getting anything that you guys are saying. Like, I don't get an astringent green very much. Right now, all I'm getting is like very similar qualities to Zerof Torino 21, just kind of with a little bit more of a citrusy tone. Is that far off? Like, do you guys get similarities between Neo and Torino 21 for people who've tried both? Do you get similarities between the two? Well, it's not an old decan. It's like 4 months. It's not crazy old. It's like I think he sent it to me like maybe September or October, so like 8 months maybe. Okay, yeah, then whatever. I'll try it. I'll buy like my own decant. We'll try it out. It's just something's going on with it. If you like green, then you like Gucci Elixir. I don't like Gucci Elixir. I hate Gucci Elixir. I think Gucci Elixir smells like an old man. That's not just me either. And I know a lot of people feel that way, but at the same time, I know a lot of people like it. So that's what's so fun about the fragrance community. 40 knots is way better on skin. It continues to change throughout the day. It's so good. Well, Michael, I will try it tomorrow. If as long as it's nice tomorrow, I will wear it tomorrow. Yeah, Newt, I'm gonna wear this tomorrow. I'm just gonna like wear it on my arm, and I'm gonna see if it's any different once my nose comes back to life. And I might need you to send me another one, but hey, welcome to Moe's. Thank you for the $5 donation. You know who you are. He's flicking off Newt. Or is he flicking out Hamzat? I honestly don't know. One of you two. Or both of you, because there is two of them. I'm going to put a thumbs up on that one. They are both green, but Neo is much more sharp and astringent green. It smells like grass clippings on a hot day after you mowed the lawn. Torino green is much more sweeter and pleasing to me. Did MRZ give a date for the larger citrines? The only thing that I heard is I posted my picture of the TLTG's fragrance today, and then I also posted one 2 days ago of another one from Zaharov. And some guy commented and said, "I want to get citrine. It's coming back next week. I can't wait to buy it." So I don't know. There's not an exact date. If I was you, I would reach out to their website because George will respond to you directly, and he'll tell you what day it'll be back. How long does Coach Green last? It's about 5 hours. It's not a super heavy, strong fragrance, but I get about 5 hours, which is pretty much on par with everyone in the line except for Platinum. Platinum's about 6. The original comes and goes within 2 hours. The original is about that too, yeah. So that's what all of them do except for Platinum, is they have like 2 hours of moderate to above average projection, and then for the next 2 hours they're almost like a skin scent. So I would say it's pretty much on par with that, if not a bit stronger. But it's a Coach. Those fragrances outside of Platinum are made for running errands, like going to the pool, doing something that has to do with very easy grab and go style fragrances. That's what they're made for. Just sprayed my new decan of Armani Privé Turquoise. Nice but light. As it dries down, it seems to develop more. I find other Armani Privés lacking in performance too. I've only tried one Armani Privé and I did not like it, and I don't remember which one it was, so do not ask me. Same here, Gucci Elixir. Yuck. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one, which I already knew. Is there any other ones for me to try here? I know I'm not trying this one because I don't even know what it is. It's like Invasion Barbarian. Ooh, this is a clone or inspired by fragrance. Let's do this one. He wanted me to try this one, and he thought it was funny that he was sending it to me. Ed Hardy, Love and Luck. Whoops. All right, Ed Hardy, Love and Luck. Never tried an Ed Hardy fragrance, so this might be really bad. And it's not. It's actually not bad at all. It smells like something. I don't know what that smells like, but it smells very, very similar to it. It has this kind of... So it's fresh, has a little bit of a fruitiness to it. What the does that remind me of? This is gonna eat at me. It's a cheap fragrance that it reminds me of. It's just I don't know what the cheap fragrance is. Is it Perry Ellis? No. It smells... Jeez, you guys are... Oh, I know what it smells like. It smells like the clone of Millésime Imperial. Armoff's Club de Nuit Milestone. It has this fruity, musky accord that has a little bit of almost like a salty background. It smells like that, but you can tell. I mean, even though Milestone is a nice, inspired by fragrance of Millésime Imperial, you can tell that it is not as high quality. You can tell that, I mean, it's one of the best inspired by fragrances out there. But it doesn't get that melon note 100% correctly, and that is what this one's doing too. It's really nice. It just smells like the cheaper version, but it's really good. Like, this is passable for being like a nice designer fragrance. I mean, if this was sold by like a company like Chanel, like nobody would bat an eye. It's actually nice. There's no synthetic tones. There's no harshness in the opening. It has a nice, salty, like fruity. It's not like a full melon accord. Just like with the Milestone, they mix together a bunch of fruits to give that melon tone that you get in this guy. Milsea Imperial. I have Milestone somewhere. But yeah, Ed Hardy's Love and Luck is nice. Well, I mean, it's redundant if you own those two, obviously. But it just smells like a twist. It just smells like a twist on Milsea Imperial. But it smells more like Milestone. It really nice, actually. Let me see if there's any like note breakdowns for this fragrance. I want to see what the fruits or citruses or whatever they're using to try to get that melon tone. Because if I can remember correctly, Milestone, underneath their note breakdown, it was just mixed fruits. I'm interested. Okay, so they do have a page. Top notes are mandarin orange, bergamot, orange, and cardamom. Mid notes are violet, cypress, and sage. Base notes are, they don't even have any salty tones in here. Huh. Am I losing my mind? What is it compared to? Milsea Imperial. I would have said Milestone, but same thing. Sean John Unforgivable. I think Mo just said that. That does make sense too because Unforgivable has that same style. All right. Yeah, so that's good. If you guys ever see Ed Hardy Love and Luck at your nearest Burlington, pick it up. You won't be disappointed. It's really nice, actually. Invasion Barbare is a great fragrance. Sandy, is it? It's rebottled genuine MDCI. It's Invasion Barbare. Who makes it? What's up, Mike from I Smell? If you guys haven't followed him, make sure you go do that. I just did a live stream with him the other day. Gucci Guilty Elixir is good to me. LOL, my wife loves it. Well, hey, good for you guys. That's awesome. All right. So, Invasion Barbare. Who makes this fragrance? Invasion Barbare. You need to narrow your search results. It's not letting me even find it. Oh, it's MDCI. I guess that's the name. I'm guessing Invasion Barbare. Does that mean it's a barbershop fragrance? Just an FYI before I go into this. I do not like barbershops that much. I mean, lately I have, actually. Yeah, it's a barbershop fragrance. That is really nice. You know what it reminds me of, though? It reminds me of kind of like an amouage. Like down the road of an amouage or something like that. Because I've smelled something similar to this. Where it has that kind of heavy lavender and a slight aromatic, warm, spicy tone on top of it. It's definitely soapy. But it's good. Yeah, I said amouage, Sandy. I said amouage, but that doesn't mean that I don't like this because it doesn't have that amouage DNA underneath it. This starts out with a nice. What is that? What's the note in Mont Blanc Legend Platinum? Violet. That's what it is. Okay. It has a nice lavender violet mixture. I was thinking for a second. It has Mont Blanc Legend Platinum something. I was trying to think of what it was. And then a nice little green, warm, spicy tone underneath it. Maybe a little bit of nutmeg and cardamom. I don't know. It's really good, though. It's not as barbershoppy as you would expect, but it's definitely a barbershop. And underneath it all, there's a little bit of like a little bit of a sharpness, but it's not like a sharp citrus. Maybe like a ginger of some sort. Maybe a turmeric, ginger, one of those. Yeah, this is good. I've never heard of MDCI before, but this is a much more wearable barbershop fragrance than I'm used to. It has a little bit of a sweetness underneath it as well. I have no idea what that's coming from. Don't ask me. But yeah, a nice aromatic lavender, a little bit of a warm, spicy green tone underneath it. A soapiness that's coming from that violet lavender mix. And that's why I'm also leaning towards the fact that that sharpness is coming from ginger and probably is going to be a fresh, sharp and soapy ginger. I don't know what other kind of spice is in here. Again, I said nutmeg, but it's a unique spice. I don't know if it is nutmeg. It could be something like black pepper, pink pepper. That may be pink pepper because there could be some sweetness. I mean, there's that sweetness and spiciness kind of offsetting each other, but at its core, it's a nice, soapy, fresh, and then it has a little bit of a sweetness underneath it, barbershop fragrance. Yeah, that's great. That's great. That is a very, that's a hidden gem. This is something that Mike from I Smell you would like. I know that because you like fragrances I don't like. And I usually don't like this type of fragrance, but I know that you will like this. It's called Invasion Barbare, Babare, by MDCI. I don't know the price. All I know is that I like it. I'm interested to see how that dries down. There's definitely a sweetness underneath it. I don't know what the freaking sweetness is. Tonka? No. Yes. No, there's not really a powdery tone to it. I mean, I'm going to go the basic route and say vanilla. But I think I'm wrong. It's just, they put vanilla in everything nowadays. Let's see. Okay. They probably don't have a Parfumo page. So let's see if they have it on True Granica. Hey, they do. It was a 2005 fragrance. It is classified as a amber fougere. I don't really get much amber, but okay. Masculine and expensive feeling, gorgeous, deep, and spicy. Violet, thyme, grapefruit, bergamot. Maybe that's the sweetness. Lavender, cardamom, thyme, and ginger. Vanilla, musk, and patchouli. So there is vanilla. I mean, go freaking figure. Yeah, that's good. I would give that an 8.5. That is a very wearable scent, and it has a nice spicy tone on it. I am surprised it's not cinnamon or nutmeg in that. There's some kind of spice under there that they're not mentioning, like pink pepper or something spicy. And I don't think it's that amber because the amber, I don't really get much amber from it. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat for a while. It's MDCI. Oh, it is good. Yeah, it's really nice. Hot take, but I think the best fragrance in the style of DNA is Gallagher Amongst Waves. Fruity, melon, and very salty. See, this is a 9.5 for me. It always will be a 9.5. That's what you guys were asking earlier. What's some of my 9.5s? Well, oh, that's a 9.5. Musky, melon, salty, wearing it on the beach, but you're also feeling super expensive. Like you're walking around and you're in the lap of luxury. That's what it smells like. But you're at a beach, so you could also wear it while you're in a bathing suit, but you smell like you're in a bathing suit made of 24 karat gold. That's what it smells like to me. That's what it feels like when I wear Millesime Imperial. I feel like it's tropical luxury. You guys can disagree with me all you want. I love it. Is patchouli one of the prominent notes? No, not for me. For me, it's the There's amber coming out on it now, and there's patchouli coming out more now. But no, in the opening, at least for the opening few minutes, it was a lavender, ginger, violet mixture. But as it's starting to dry, the violet lavender mixture is still there. It's a little bit darker than I had expected, but it's still beautiful. It has a spicy, nice spice. I would say cardamom and the ginger are a little bit more prominent. And then you have that violet lavender that's starting to creep down. You are getting a bit of patchouli in there, but I wouldn't say the patchouli is like a main note in it, no. Yeah, I wouldn't pay $250 for it, Giancarlo. That is insane. Like I said, me and my wife have made a decision that whenever I started my channel, I wouldn't spend over $250 on one single fragrance. I would wait until the fragrance would drop in price if it's something that I was really interested in. And for the most part, every single time I have stuck around that amount unless I used some of my affiliate money. That's pretty much the only time that I would ever go over that. But when it comes to buying those fragrances that are $250, it has to be like a 9 to a 9.5 for me. And for me, this doesn't do $250 worth of ooh for me. It's really nice, but I would probably buy that for $150. I wouldn't go any higher than that. But I mean, if you're somebody who's completely made of money, then whatever. That's just not the way that I rock. I mean, I drive around in a Chevy Cruze. Like, I don't care about that kind of stuff. I just like my fragrances. The Fragrance Decant Boutique, what's going on? Oh, we've been on here for an hour and a half, man. Jeez, it's 9:15. Well, I have to work tomorrow. I have to get my daughter into bed and all that good stuff. So I appreciate you. We got through all the decants anyway. So the next week, we will get back into Zerof Neo and also Parfum's Vintage Gucci Pour Homme clone. But I appreciate everybody who stopped by. We had a max of 48 today. And it was pretty much average 35, which I think is great. I don't really care about numbers. Even if we had 12 people, it's just really exciting. Let me read this last comment, and then we're going to peace out. Didn't you say at the start of the year, your wife was going to lay the hurting on you if you ever bought too many fragrances this year, Randy? Yeah, that's why, Patrick, that's why you haven't seen me with a crap ton of new release videos, because I've basically been... Last year, at this point in time, I have bought all the fragrances that were released in designers. This year, I've only bought 2. I got a lot of decants, luckily enough, from some of my subscribers and stuff, but I've only got 2 of the new releases so far. So, yeah, I have taken a step back, and all of the expensive ones that I bought, I didn't really have to spend much money on because I was using a lot of the money that you guys give me from monetization. So I'd put it right back into the channel, like I said. With that said, I appreciate all of you guys. I will have a live stream. Oh, live stream tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. And it is 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I will be on Ross's channel, TLTG Reviews. It's me, Ross, and Dedrick. I sent 5 decants to Ross and 5 decants to Dedrick. All 5 are the same to both of them, and then they did the same to me. And so we're doing a decant swap video. So at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern Standard Time, if you guys want to see us, we'll be over at TLTG Reviews. I'll obviously post it on my community tab. If you guys want to come watch and support, I would really appreciate it. I know a lot of you guys follow both of us, so I'll see you there anyway. But yeah, gonna go hang out with my daughter and then get to sleep so I can work tomorrow. So hope you guys have a fantastic week. I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.